Yeah, hi, this is Dr. Edward Kondrot, and welcome to my training video. I wanted just to review the essentials of taking these important measurements before you begin any eye treatment. First is we're going to do the visual acuity. This is your most important tool to begin. It's a tape measure. And it's important that you measure exactly 10 feet from the patient's eye to the eye chart. And you can see we put a little mark on our wall right here. This eye chart is the early treatment diabetic retinopathy study chart. It's logarithmic. It has 5 letters on each line. And to make it easy for you to record the acuity, we have duplicated the eye chart and all the letters. So when you have the patient read the letters, you can circle the letters that the patient gets right and cross out the ones that they get wrong. So let's begin. We always begin with the right eye and always make certain that the patient, and we have our lovely model here, always make sure the patient has their best correction for distance. If they don't wear glasses, of course, they don't need any glasses, but always make a note, the patient's name, and then the date, and then CC is with correction, SC is without correction. So he does not have correction, so we do. So begin, could you read the eye chart?
C O H Z V S Z N D C V K C N R K C R H N Z K D V C H V O R K R H S O N K S V R. Trouble with that last one.
Anything below that?
H N K O. That's about it.
Anything below the HNK?
N. And there's a D, but that's in the middle.
Okay, anything else below that? It's important always to try to push the patient to read smaller and smaller.
Next line left looks like maybe a C, but
Okay. So then we tabulate the number of letters. So we got 3 letters here, 2 here. This is 40, total of 40, so that's 45 total. We put the total. And then we did this from 10 feet. So we put the number of feet up here. Let's say, for example, you asked him to read the eye chart and he couldn't see anything. Well, then you would move him up to 5 feet. If they still don't see anything on the eye chart, then you move them up to 2.5 feet. And then to 1 foot. And then to 6 inches. So you record, let's say with the left eye, he could see 5 letters. So you would put 6 in from 6 inches. So it would be 5 letters, 6 inches. So it's important to record the distance and the number of letters. So when you repeat, then you can duplicate. Also, it's important to get the same lighting conditions. You may have just a handheld chart. You may not have the illuminated box like this, so make sure that the lighting is same, because if you measure the patient early in the morning, when the sun's hitting a certain angle compared to late at night, make sure the lighting conditions. In fact, you may even want to jot down the time. Right now, this is 4:20 p.m. So we know. And then, so we're done. So we finished the acuity. And now what we're going to do is measure time. Do you wear reading glasses?
I don't, although I could.
Okay. So if they do wear reading glasses, make sure they have their reading glasses. And we start with the right eye again. And once again, you can see on this chart, there's letters that are getting lighter and lighter. And we also make it easy for you. We have all the letters that are recorded. So we start with the right eye from the top.
CHVOSNDSZNRK NDRHVZ CSONKH KNVDSR ZRDKHO HZ CVRK.
Okay, anything on that bottom line?
There's the second one is, it looks like EC.
Okay, now with this test, distance is not that critical, so you can move it closer, you can move it away, because with this test, we're measuring the ability to see contrast, and the focal point may differ for some people. So it's okay to hold it close, it's okay to angle it, so you give the patient the freedom to do that. But he did very well. He got a total of 172. So you mark that here, 172. Now, if they miss a number, so the final corrected value is 172. Let's say he missed 2. Number of errors 2. 2 times 0.04 would be 0.08. You would subtract that from this value. The one shortcut that I have, if they miss 2, I just go back to 1, 2, so it would be 1.6 to keep it simple. So we're done, and then we would do the left eye, and you can see on the form we mark right eye and left eye. And the date, and of course the patient's name. So the next test we're going to do is the color visual field. So let's go. Now the color visual field test, sometimes it takes some explanation. We're measuring movement in the periphery. So as they look at the center, they say when they see some wiggling. Then the second part of the test, we actually measure color perception. So we're going to move different colored pens in from the periphery, red, blue, and green. And when they're able to perceive the color, so it's not motion, and it's not gray, or it's a crayon when they actually see the color. So we begin by making a cross right in front of the eye. Okay. And then, can you please look right at the center?
Yep.
Okay. Now, as you're looking at the center, I'm going to move this from the periphery, wiggling it, and you tell me when you see it wiggling.
Yep. 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 Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay. And then we usually put this with light dots. This is means that this is where they detect motion.
Name and,
Now,
name and date.
the name and date too on the. Now the next one is going to be color. And you can see that we have these colored crayons. And so this is critical because most patients, what they do is they'll tell you when they see it moving. So as you look at the center, I want you to tell me when you can perceive that it's red. And you'll be able to tell that red will pop out. You'll see something moving, it may look gray, and then all of a sudden red. Also, when you do this, make sure you put the crayon close to the paper. Don't hold it up like this, because you're changing the angle of perception. So tell me when you see red.
Red.
Very good.
Red. 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 Red.
Okay, so usually you do a couple. I do a minimum of 4, and sometimes you want to do 8. So that's the red. Next, you're going to do green. Red, green, and then we need a fresh green crayon. This is green. Always have the patient look at the green so they can perceive it. And tell me when you see green.
Green. Green. Green. Green. Green.
Okay, and we get green, we connect it. And the last we do is blue. Tell me when you see blue.
Blue. Blue. Blue. Blue.
Okay, good. So then, this was the right eye, so we'll make sure we put right, and then the name. And the date, 4/8/13. Then what we do is we take this paper, and we turn it over to do the left.
Switch.
And then we switch, and then we mark across to fixate. And we begin again by wiggle. Look at the center and tell me when you see wiggling.
Yep. 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 Yep.
So that's a peripheral movement. And then we do the specific colors. And tell me when you see red.
Red. Red. Red. Red. Red.
And we do green.
Green. Green. Green. Green. Green.
And once again, when you move the crayon in, make sure you keep it close to the paper, not up here like this. And when you see blue,
Blue. 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 Blue.
okay. And then we're finished with our visual fields. And then you would put left. So now we have our baseline visual fields, we have our acuity, and we have our contrast. So the key is, when you repeat these tests in 3 days, you're going to duplicate the same conditions. Same distance, same lighting, ideally the same time during the day, and the same position for the visual field. Couple pointers, you should move at a consistent speed, probably like this. It doesn't have to be real slow or don't do fast. And then patients will always say, well, I saw it before it got there. Well, don't forget there's a certain time lag that's for when they see it, when it goes to their brain, and when they speak. So there may be a second lag, but at least it's consistent.
Right.
And we're just doing something that's relative. So if you do have any questions on taking these tests, please give the office a call. The girls in the office are always available to help answer questions. And the number is 352-588-0477. And Dr. Kondrot wishing you good luck with your testing and good luck with your Kondrot protocol to help people improve vision.